A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Oh my gosh, we're back! It's, well, kind of. It's the Daredevil series recruitment race. It's here at Legacy Pocono. It is time for banger season. Yes, bangers are in season. The Daredevil series. This is our only broadcasted scheduled prelim before we kick off the season proper next week, but it is so good to be back. Stripped down to the little bells and whistles, but we've got some tricks up our sleeve as this season rolls around. To anybody that's new here, my name is Tommy Cook. We've got the one and only, the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, alongside. He's pushing all the buttons, making everything look pretty with this Whiplash Sim Cam package. Matt, it's our favorite. We've got a lot of good stuff here on the channel, but this is our favorite. This is our baby, and it's time. It's time to bring it back.
It certainly is that time, and we have quite a few tricks up our sleeves that will be revealed with the schedule here in just a moment. But this is the epitome of action and chaos here on the channel. It's the Daredevil series, and if you're not familiar, you will be here shortly, and trust me, you will not want to miss it.
So I believe we're about to have a field of 24 drivers. Most of them have been on the channel before. Some of them are new to Daredevil, and there are others who are new to Daredevil and the channel. So lots to learn here tonight, but luckily it is a very familiar track car combo here, the Lotus 79 at Legacy Pocono, 3 times on the schedule in our past 3 seasons. Not on the schedule here for Season 4, but what is on the schedule here for Season 4 in our devilish cocktail of madness here for the Daredevil series?
Well, it's time to take a look at the schedule here for this season. We're going to open it up next week at Kansas, and then we're going to go road course racing in the second round of Sonoma. Nashville Super Speedway, my pseudo home track, I guess you could call it my home track now, is going to be round 3, and there is a special surprise driver entrant for that one. You'll have to stay tuned. And then we're doing a double header, a oval road course combo at New Hampshire. That is sure to be a wild one. And then, I mean, the chaos just never stops, Tommy. You have really cooked up something special here for us in our 4th season. Talladega is on the schedule in round 6, and then we go to Bristol the very next week. These drivers might not be very happy with you after those couple of weeks, but it's going to be pretty special nonetheless. Then Kentucky, Willow Springs, and we are finally going back to Indianapolis. The IndyCar iRacing deal has been struck, and we are going back to the Brickyard. All things are right in Daredevil Series competition.
Absolutely. Indy is the only returning track on this schedule this season. The other 9 races are all brand new to the Daredevil Series, entering its 4th season of competition. A series that we took over from Revolution Indy League after they stopped putting up iRacing leagues. We had to take it over. We could not go without the Daredevil Series. And that brings us to here with some familiar names up front, some unfamiliar names up front. 40 seconds left in qualifying. Wow. I can't believe that it's time already. It seemed like not that long ago that a far-off distant thought was Season 4 and putting that schedule together. And now it's upon us. It's about to happen.
Certainly is, and we have 2 seasons on the schedule for this year, something that hasn't happened in a little while, so we have plenty of Daredevil action for you here in 2024, but this first season is cooking up to be something really spectacular. Here in the recruitment race, big numbers for a recruitment race here for the Daredevil series. A lot of folks we don't know, some very familiar faces. It's sure to be a good one.
Absolutely. And let's get you that starting lineup here. 45 laps around Legacy Pocono. And with the pole is a previous Daredevil Series winner here at Legacy Pocono. 2 times winner last season as well. Christopher Hill will lead the field of green. Nicholas Isidro, also a winner here last season at Daredevil competition. He starts on the outside pole. Ricky Wentworth is a newcomer. He will line up in 3rd. Joshua Rutherford put together some stellar runs towards the end of the season. He will start in 4th. Steve Roman and Brody Gunter will line up on row 3. Jeff Mathis has hopped from the YouTube chat to the track. He lines up in 7th. Ashton Crowder is here. He is starting in 8th. Daryl Klotz and Jeff Oakes, teammates there on row number 5. They're both newcomers to the series. Matt Schlosser in 11th. Nathan Palawoda is here. He starts in 12th. Corey Rutherford and Andy Poliski, teammates there on row number 7. Then it's Paul Elson and Rick Thompson joining us here in Daredevil competition at 16th. I believe Charles Grove left, and I was looking forward to seeing him back on the track, so hopefully he comes back in here at some point. But Caleb Smock there lines up on row number 9. Christy Wright and Fred Thompson, both newcomers as well. Fred Thompson, an ASRL regular, starting at 20th. Charlie Needham, Ben Richetsky, Hunter Engrave back there deep in 23rd. Brad Adams, 24th. Field Miller, BK Anderson, Simon Woodson, and Jim Turner, the 28 cars starting field. I believe 24 of the 28 are here and are getting ready to roll. I just now realized I didn't give you any fuel numbers and didn't give you any details, so I guess I'll do this because I'm vaguely familiar with my practice laps. I think fuel number here going to be around 20 to 24 laps in a 45-lap race here. We do have one fast repair here tonight. But with that aside, Matt Williamson, what are the track conditions here at Legacy Pocono?
We'll take a look at the weather conditions here for you, and pretty hot and slick here at Legacy Pocono. 115 degrees on the track temperature. If you're familiar with our previous races here, you know that accidents are bound to happen. Chaos is bound to ensue. And with the heat on the track, it heats the tires up very quick, and that is a huge problem in this car specifically. So things are just going to get spicier, maybe even a little bit faster than they have before.
We've done our very best over this offseason to eliminate the right rear tire overheating problem. For the majority of the tracks on the schedule, it'll be an issue a couple of times this season, and you'll know when. This setup saw no tinkering whatsoever. It is run exactly how it was last season. This car has had a bit of an overhaul in the multiple updates since our last race in the All-Star race at Gateway a few months ago. Now we have a much more robust damage model, as if we needed one. Tires can now come off. And to put it mildly, if your tire comes off, you are SOL. So just another thing to keep in mind is if these drivers' stress load and workload isn't high enough.
There's nothing like a full field of these absolute rockets coming to green.
Green flag is out. The recruitment race is underway. One car has gone around in the back. I'm not sure what happened to Charlie Needham, but he has picked up a meatball flag. Racing continues up front. Oh, boy.
Touch of the wall there for Brody Gunter. That was almost really bad, but he's able to recover and now looks for the lead underneath of Christopher Hill.
Gunter from the 6th starting position. And we had an unbroadcasted recruitment race last week at Monza right turning oval. And Brody Gunter came 7 1/1000ths of a second away from taking his first checkered in his first start in a Lotus 79. So he'll be a contender this season, no doubt. But Christopher Hill, a veteran of the series and a veteran here at Legacy Pocono, leads the opening lap of 2024 in the Daredevil series.
Things single file for right now up front. Jeff Mathis going to work on Ricky Wentworth.
3 wide, just inside of the top 10 here. I think Paluota was on the outside of it. Daryl Klotz and Corey Rutherford were the other ones there. That was awfully tight.
Wow. And that was Matt Schlosser that just about got the worst of that, but able to keep it under control.
Brody Gunter has got stuck up high. It's allowed Nicholas Isidro now to move into second. Joshua Rutherford underneath of Gunter challenging for third.
Joshua Rutherford was very sporty in the unbroadcasted recruitment race as well. Nicholas Isidro.
To the point, Hill fighting back. And Gunter fighting underneath of Isidro now.
Turn number 2 is pretty much the prime spot to make a pass underneath there. We see that quite often and have in our 3 previous races here in the Daredevil series.
Ashton Crowder back in 7th, ran the purple lap of the session. 48.295.
If anybody's wondering, they are going well over 200 miles an hour in the pack here on the straights. I think the top speed right now is around 207.
There are some fast tracks on the schedule. Talladega going to be around 210 miles an hour. Kansas going to be well over 200 miles an hour. Going to be in the mid to high 190s at Nashville Super Speedway, of all places. Ridiculously fast paced action this season. 3 wide, just outside of the top 5. That gets sorted out. Hill leading Gunter and Vroman now. Isidro and Crowder, the top 5.
Steve Vroman, we can now call him somewhat of a veteran of the series. He raced most of the races in Season 3, so looking to build upon that rookie season for Steve Vroman.
Yes, his race here at Legacy Pocono did not end to his liking, that is for sure, but had a 4th place finish at Michigan last season. That was his best result in his opening season with the Daredevils. Here's a move. That's Jeff Mathis challenging Nicholas Isidro. do believe this is Mathis's first time as a driver here on the channel, but has been hanging out with us in a lot of the streams.
Something we're going to have to watch for as this race goes on is getting tight out of turn number 3. We've seen a lot of the best of the drivers here in the Daredevil series slap the absolute hell out of the wall coming out of that turn and taking themselves out. The good thing for the drivers tonight is there's a faster pair for the recruitment race. That is not something they will have in the regular season.
No, it is not. Actually, I should make one asterisk to that. We are giving them a faster repair for Bristol, just because that would be brutal otherwise. I don't know if we'd finish with anybody. But that's the only one. That'll be the only one in series history.
Boy, we're getting really crowded here, fighting for the top 5 right now. Ashton Crowder trying to move around the outside. Steve Roman's got shuffled back a couple of spots.
This will be the point with a track temperature of 117. Probably only a couple laps away from your friend and mine, the squishy right rear tire, rearing its old ugly head.
Well,
that's not bothering Ashton Crowder right now.
No, but when it does rear its head, it certainly gets ugly in a hurry.
Everybody will know. Ricky Wentworth all the way back in 16th just ran the purple lap of the race. Oh boy, awfully tight there. Hill and Gunter. Now Gunter under fire from Crowder here for second. Someone just got in the wall. Might have been Paul Ellison. Oh, boy.
Huge incident up front.
Wow.
And one of them was Ashton Crowder.
Matt Schlosser just made one of the craziest moves I've ever seen, and he made it through there. But quite a few drivers do not. Ellison, Smock, Crowder, Gunter, Corey Rutherford, Ben Rachetsky, and Joshua Rutherford. The caution is out for the first time here on lap number 8.
And we get the close-up shot of the 22 of Ashton Crowder without a left front anything. That the entire piece of that car is missing, tire and everything else almost.
It's one of the new perks, unperks. One of the drawbacks? I don't know. Makes it more realistic, though.
One of the features, that's for sure.
There you go.
Go ahead and see if we can take a look back. Already in trouble there. Trying to figure out with some new paint schemes. It's kind of hard to figure out who this is all between. This is Brody Gunter on the outside. Ashton Crowder underneath. And those two looks like netcode contact, which is something that is supposed to be a little bit better with the new damage model, but still not the best. The netcode contact between Gunter and Crowder. I think that's one of the Rutherfords that's going to slam in there. Oh, wow. There's Matt Schlosser, like you mentioned. Oh, my goodness.
And he never spun that car out.
That's unbelievable. I thought for sure he was head first into the inside wall. We're going to back this up and go on board with Matt Schlosser because he deserves a nice little shot here for that one. We're going to go to the cockpit and go full speed here. Turn right to go left, Lightning. Holy cow. So much of the same plagues, I guess you could call it, that have hit the drivers here on lap number 9, 8 or 9. I don't remember exactly which one.
Somewhere in there.
But the net code contact, that is something that has been a constant in all the years we've been doing the Daredevil series.
The nice thing is it was a borderline 2-stop race before this caution. It is now, I guess technically still is a 2-stop race, but you could make it to the end on one more stop here. So that helps clean things up a little bit anyway.
And yes, Dakota Tomade in the chat says big air. I'm not sure who that was, but somebody did get launched pretty good.
We had some pretty good launches in practice. Nathan Palawoda in particular was finding new ways to wreck the car, which, leave it to the boys to innovate.
I will say that's hard to find a new way in this car because it's been done just about every which way.
Yes.
Now, something that can happen here in the Daredevil series with single file restarts is sometimes people think a caution's going to come out, everybody's going to get really jumbled together, and it's going to be pure chaos. Oftentimes, that is not the case. With the single file restart, it is not uncommon to see people get spread out a little bit. If you're outside of the top 10, it is not very likely, but it is certainly more than possible that you will lose that front group and have to work your way up to it.
The single file restarts just bring a lot of chaos in general. You're either spacing out so much that you're going to lose the pack, like you said, or you're staying so bunched up, afraid of that exact scenario, that any amount of checkup is going to cause at least a 3 to 10 car pileup. We saw it here, the very first restart of Season 3 last year here at Legacy Pocono. Ended with quite a few cars out of the race. One car flipped upside down and hitting the pit attenuator. So, chaos, not uncommon here in the single-file restarts at any track, not just here at Pocono. Fortunately, I believe we have lost Ben Rachetsky. But it is time now for the restart. The field is under the control of Christopher Hill. He at one point was the points leader last season.
You see a bunch of people fanning out before they even get to the start-finish line, but the folks out front have gotten way out front. Oh, and they were 4 wide there through turn number 1.
Still getting sorted out, 2 and 3 wide. And like you said, some of this pack is in a bit of trouble here.
I think that was Ricky Wentworth, Hunter Engrave, Brody Gunter's up here already, and then Paul Ellison. They were the 4 wide quartet, I guess you would call them, down there in turn 1. Second group here working on trying to make their way up to the first. They have some work to do. Jeff Oakes is 1.5 seconds behind Darrell Klotz.
Those two teammates, they'll work together. Here's a pass for the lead, or at least an attempt from Nicholas Isidro. Trying to unseat Christopher Hill from the top spot. Hill going to fight back here on the outside of 3. Daryl Klotz with the purple lap. We're 3 wide for the top spot. Here is Jeff Mathis on the bottom. Mathis, wiggles up the track, squeezing Isidro and Hill. Now Hill gonna push Isidro. Or thought about it anyway.
But so much downforce, you can really send it down there on the bottom, and it doesn't really hurt you too bad for a couple laps. Mathis, whoa, almost squeezes Isidro up into the wall.
We were 3 wide, now we're 4 wide for 6. Now just 3 wide. Holy cow. Caleb Smock ahead of all that.
Things have certainly gotten busy here.
Yes, all over.
And while these folks are battling each other, they are losing time to that lead pack.
It's not uncommon for a second pack to be well out of draft range and close up on the front pack. We've seen it happen time and time again. So if they could start cooperating, as Darrell Waltrip would say, they can probably mount a comeback here. You got to put in the work, especially as this group is all fighting for the lead. Here is Hill with another dive, and he will reclaim the top spot. Oh, we've got a crash. Corey Rutherford and Charlie Needham have gotten together, and the caution is out. That was right in front of a number of people, and luckily, I think they're the only 2 that got caught up in it.
And Corey Rutherford has lost that right front.
I believe he had to take a fast repair last time. I believe Charlie Needham has already taken his as well, so their races might be over.
We'll see what happens here. Nearly 4 wide. Coming into turn number 3 here. Oh, and Rutherford loses the back end a little bit, washes up the racetrack trying to correct it, and locks wheels there with Needham, sends Needham into the outside wall. Rutherford loses that tire, or that wheel, I suppose I should say. That's the first real mistake we've seen that seems like it's a track temperature, tire temperature sort of situation there.
Yeah, track temperature a little bit hotter than I was aiming for, I'll be honest with you. Was not going for 118 degrees.
What this does do is it gives some of these drivers some practice with restarts, though, because the single file restart is something that a lot of these drivers probably aren't super familiar with, especially with this car. Getting some practice with on the restarts with this car is pretty crucial when you're headed into the actual season. I know that's something the first time I ever got in them, that was a pretty big adjustment for me. It took me a couple to kind of figure it out. So some more restart practice, maybe not a bad thing for a lot of the drivers here.
Definitely not. This is a super well-rounded track if you think about it. I mean, we like to keep it on the schedule. Wanted to mix it up quite a bit for this regular season schedule, but this has everything. This has right rear tire management. This has high speeds. This has 3 wildly different corners that all behave differently. And a long straightaway to get a draft. I mean, it really has everything that you could possibly want.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know how it can be well-rounded when it's a triangle, but
okay,
I do, I do understand, what you're trying to say there.
Okay. We'll talk after the race. Anyway. No, that was.
It's a recruitment race. I had to do it.
No, that was funny. That was funny.
It's not often I get to pull a fast one on the old Tommy, so anytime I can get one, I like to take it.
And usually when you do, I just ignore it.
That is true.
That's a callback to our season 1 race, I think, at Indianapolis.
Yep.
You made a very funny pun, and I honestly didn't hear it, and just blew right past it.
Stepped all over me.
Never forget.
You know, Tommy, we give these drivers the top 10s of the year. You and I might need to do a top 10 one-liners or broadcast calls of 2024, or maybe for 2023. It's not too late, I suppose.
You know, I would like to move up in the industry, so the less attention I give some of my one-liners, probably the better, if I had to guess. Some of them probably are offensive and not funny, and or offensive or not funny. So, you know, I don't want people thinking that I'm a flop factory over here. That's for sure.
Maybe we need to start having you go by a special Turn 200 stage name.
Yeah, probably.
Don't worry, I'll think of names tonight.
Looking forward to it. Okay, under the second caution here. Be coming to the restart on lap number 20.
Everybody's
Now,
gotten their fuel.
Yes. And they are going to be very close to making it on the end. We do, by the way, have one overtime. Should we need it? I don't think we used overtime last season here, but we used it for quite a few of the ovals.
Yeah, I think we ended up maybe using 3, if I remember right. But
We had 3 in a row. I know that because we had it at Rockingham. I think you were treated by yourself to the first overtime.
I sure was.
Then we had one at Twin Ring, which we'd all rather forget. And then wherever we were at after that, we had another one. So at least 3 last season, probably more.
And with the big field here in the recruitment race, very possible.
We have thinned the herd a bit. Brad Adams and Charlie Needham have retired, as well as Corey Rutherford still on pit road with a meatball flag. I can't imagine he's going to be back here by the end of this one. Certainly will not be competing for the win here tonight. So those 3, along with Ben Richetsky and a few other drivers that didn't actually take the green flag. So we've got about 20 here on track. Lining up for another single file restart here, coming to lap 20. Back underway. Pretty good spacing through the field. If we could stay green, we're going to have quite a few more cars in this lead pack.
Whew, man. Somebody nearly got up into the wall down there in turn number 1, but you're right. Not a big jump for the leaders here. The middle of the pack got a much better restart than they did the first time.
And I think you can attribute to that to a couple of drivers taking tires when they probably didn't need to. Oh, wow, a 4X there between Smock and Poliski. They made contact, but keep on rolling. Hill fighting off Roman for the top spot.
Oh, looked like some contact between
Whoa.
Poliski and Klotz. Klotz nearly got punted into the outside wall, but was able to hang on to it.
Paulson past Caleb Smock. Here's a pass for the lead. Vroman underneath of Hill, headed into 3. Vroman trying to utilize the middle lane here. And it works for now. Got Hill backed up a bit to Hunter Engrave, who has made his way up to third. Top 4 all nose to tail. That's Brody Gunter in fourth. Bit of distance back to Nick Isidro and Jeff Smock. Jeff Mathis. The top 6.
And then back to Caleb Smock. A little bit of a gap has formed.
He's battling with Paul Ellison. Here is Brody Gunter. He's got third. Now he is taking second. Gunter with a power move there. Here's Isidro sticking it to the outside.
Yeah, Isidro with a bold move there. That is a tough place to move to the outside of the racetrack. Coming around a corner. You can easily find yourself in the wall pulling one of those, but does it spectacularly.
Roman now leading Gunter. They're teammates in the Venom Truck Series, or at least kind of. But no teams here in the Daredevil Series, at least not in official capacity.
And we're getting to the halfway point in this one now. And Smock Ellison and Jeff Oakes are going to have to start working together a little bit if they want to make some hay into...
I mean, Smock and Ellison are swapping positions 3 times a lap. They are just... I'm sure they're having fun. But they are just a bit outside of draft range to catch Jeff Mathis here, which will bring them back into the fold.
They got a little bit of help because Mathis made a bit of a mistake down, just touched the apron.
That was close.
But these folks certainly getting spicy here.
3 wide
for the 7th position.
3 wide. Oh boy, that is too close for comfort.
Klotz gets moved back a little bit. Ellison and Palawota have started to make their way through.
Top 4 equidistantly spaced down the front stretch. Now make it the top 6. Beautiful.
Nobody up here seems to be really in a hurry. They're just kind of riding around together. Might be smart. They want to get to the end without the other 12 cars getting to them.
Klotz and Oakes have gotten together. More are piling in. Back under caution. Joshua Rutherford again. Charles Grove, Matt Schlosser. Ashton Crowder got a piece of it on his way by. As good as the evasive maneuver was for Schlosser last time, unfortunately, could not find that same magic. Quite a few of these drivers, maybe a couple of them at least, have already burned their fast repair as well. So, might spell the end here.
Yeah, and this one we'll go back and I'll rewind it here. This one happens with kind of a double move.
And those are teammates that were started that one as well. Klotz and Oakes.
Yeah, Klotz is up top here in the 11. It's Nathan Palawota tries to move down to make a move. When he does, the 13 of Oakes moves up. He thinks he has room to go to the top side, but like you said, teammate in the 11 is there. So both of them are going to go for a ride. That's Schlosser that piles in and then gets hit by another. It may have been Christopher Hill right there. No, not Christopher Hill. I'm not sure who that is.
I think it's Charles Grove, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think you're right. So Charles Grove, he's going to pile in here as well. See, Ashton Crowder goes for a bit of a spin. I'm not sure he hit that inside wall. So
Came awfully close.
might still be clean here. Doesn't look like it. But we told you how fast the speeds were earlier, upwards of 200 miles an hour. When something like that happens in front of you, it comes at you very, very fast. It's almost impossible to react. Lots of drivers down pit road this time.
Nice shot of Tokyo Drift there. I gotta say, we've got Whiplash sim cans on board for every race this season for the Daredevil series. I mean, we've had some good camera packs before. Connor Baldwin has built some very good camera packs for us, but I mean, the Whiplash sim cam packs are, I mean, almost too robust. They are very full. But I mean, in moments like that, you could do just about anything you want with them. And it's going to help us get some great shots for intros for seasons to come.
Certainly. Looking forward to it. I know that we don't have fast repairs at Talladega, but I'm hoping we have a good one from Talladega.
Yep.
And it's very likely.
I'm going to say it's very likely. So some drivers that had required repairs are still on pit road. That's probably not the best sign. But we'll see. Maybe they're just hanging out. Heading to the loo right quick. On that cycle of pit stops, Bernie Gunter fell all the way back to 9th. Was in 4th. But we should have the one to go here. Steve Vroman leading the way. Christopher Hill, Hunter Engrave, Nick Isidro, Jeff Mathis the top 5, Caleb Smock in 6th, Nathan Paluota 7th, Christy Wright. I believe first time we've called out Christie's name here tonight other than the starting grid. Christie's up to 8th. Brady Gunter, Paul Ellison, the top 10. After the Tokyo Drift, it's Ashton Crowder in 11th. Charles Grove in 12th. Darrell Klotz took a fast repair. He's in 13th. Ricky Wentworth in 14th. Rick Thompson in 15th. Matt Schlosser in 16th. Then some drivers getting service done. Andy Polisky, Joshua Rutherford, and Jeff Oakes through 19th. Retirements from Fred Thompson, Corey Rutherford, Charlie Needham, Brad Adams, and Ben Richetsky.
We're getting down to not that many laps left here, Tommy. These races go by quickly. This one's a little bit shorter than they normally would be, but not too much shorter.
Now only about 25% if I did the math correctly. Should time out to be about 40 to 45 minutes. Real quickie here. Green flag is back out. Some movement further back in the top 10. Gunter moving up. Here is a move for the lead. Hill with a dive. Oh my gosh. Darrell Klotz has exploded.
He's exploded. He's gone through the earth. His wing over there will not stop moving. Not sure if he's taken fast repair yet or not.
I believe he has on that last one. That was, wow. I believe contact with Charles Grove started that one, but after that, hold on to your butts.
Yeah, we'll go overhead to start with, and then we'll do a
The tilt-a-whirl
in-car camera, but we'll have to put an advisory on it if you have epilepsy or anything like that. But you're right, makes contact with the right rear wheel of Charles Grove. Just a little bit of a mistake there. I think it's ran over by somebody else. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but at that point, yeah, it goes for a ride. The wheels are going all over the place. Gets hit again. That time, I think it was by Andy Poliski.
I think Ricky Wentworth was the first passerby to make contact.
So we'll go ahead and back it up and show it to you from the driver's point of view, full speed. When you see another car's nose at eye level coming at you, never a good sign.
No. Probably a little bit of janky physics on that one. Not that wasn't going to end in disaster either way, but some unnatural movements by that car for sure. If there's anybody that's going to be able to test the physics of this car, leave it to us. We will find any flaw.
Certainly. I think we tested quite a few last week at Monza.
Yeah. Yes.
If you don't know, we do have a Facebook page for the channel now.
Yes, we do.
You can see a couple of fun pictures from last week. At Monza, there's some cars pretty high in the air. We'll just put it that way.
Yes. Corey Rutherford was grounded by the FAA, I do believe.
Yeah, he just about got sent to the moon. As did I, for the record. I had a pretty spectacular one myself.
Speaking of Rutherfords, Joshua Rutherford has rejoined the race. I think he's back on the lead lap as well. So that's exciting. 17 drivers on the lead lap. I believe 18 still running. I think Darrell Klotz is going to be out of this one, unfortunately. I'm sure these guys at the front are itching to get a couple of green flag laps in. The racing throughout the field has been pretty good, but with guys learning this car, it's not uncommon for a one misplaced wheel to result in the kind of carnage that we've seen throughout the night.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, we got a lot of drivers that we're familiar with, but they are not familiar with the Lotus 79 by any means. So it's certainly an adjustment. It's just a unbelievably fun car to drive, but when you get out there with other folks around you, it can get pretty scary, to be honest. Your heart will be pumping till there's no tomorrow.
Some exciting things coming up on the channel. Saturday night. Have yet to see the official entry list, but I am told it is quite good for the 5th annual Daytona Charity Shootout. Last season it was won by Ryan Vargas, and he beat Lightning McQueen in air quotes. But rest assured, Ryan Vargas, not in air quotes. He was actually there. He won the race. Quite a few notable names from the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, all the grassroots levels of racing, some all-stars from iRacing itself. It was a great field last season. It's even better this season. And the Daytona Charity Shootout this Saturday night. You need to be here. It is going to be quite the party. So we're looking forward to that. Of course, some other things between now and then. But the Daredevil series is back in an official capacity next Wednesday night. for the very first time under the lights at Kansas Speedway. That is just, think about the action you're seeing right now. It's actually going to be a little bit faster, and it's going to be at 1.5 miles, a cookie cutter at that. So
Track is not this wide.
no, it sure isn't, and it's faster. So just be here next Wednesday night, either on the track or in the chat here, and prepare for the Daredevil series in all its glory. And prepare for this restart as well, back under the control of Christopher Hill. Back to green. Some space between Hill and Vroman, maybe a tactical decision on Vroman's part to keep more drivers in tow here.
Not much space between Smock, Palawoda, and Brody Gunter.
Not at all. Here is Engrave looking for a move. He is trying to take second away from Vroman and will do so. Here's a move now. Mathis looking on Isidro, but gets the door shut. Brody Gunter past Nathan Palawoda. They are still battling side by side. Some support for Natjin Palagoda in the chat. And next gen Patagonia battling back here on the outside. Going for more too.
Yeah, he is not putting that loud pedal, lifting it up at all. That thing is pressed down as far as it'll go, and maybe even some more.
I'd say at this point, unless the caution comes back out, just glue that sucker down. Steve Vroman in third just ran his personal fastest lap of the race. Here's Engrave. Engrave and Hill, no strangers to battling for the lead here in the Daredevil series. And once more for old time's sake, but here is Vroman, and now all of a sudden it's 3 wide. Oh boy! Hill rolls out, but with inches to spare, and now Isidro underneath. 3 wide. Oh!
Contact there, now 4 wide!
Wow, keeps the momentum despite the contact. 3 wide for the lead into 1. Is it going to work? Can Hill make it stick? Yes!
Vroman graciously gives the room. Oh, wow. Look at this. Engrave squeezes up top.
Thinks better of it. Rolls out. He's going to pay. Going back to 4th. Isidro back to 3rd. Vroman back to the lead. And here comes the cavalry.
Yes, these folks battled everybody else, able to get into it. Here comes Nathan Palawoda. Jeff Mathis is right there as well.
Brody Gunter, Caleb Smock.
Vroman looking back underneath down into turn 1.
Engrave going to try and follow. Hill going to have momentum from the middle.
Vroman squeezes up in front of Hill. Hill goes for the crossover.
Incredible.
Jeff Mathis now underneath of... looking underneath the Palawoda anyways.
And here's Engrave looking for the lead, and he'll take it.
Unbelievable stuff. Engrave waited patiently for that run to come, and he knew when it was going to come and executed perfectly.
This is the top 9 all under a blanket here. Is Vroman trying to take it back? Not clear. Hill going to go for it again, 3 wide. Vroman rolls out. Third to first, Christopher Hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daredevil series.
Yes, indeed. 7 laps to go. 7 more laps of this. Do they have the metal to hang on? Do they have the tires?
Contact! Nathan Palawota's in the wall.
Oh, and they're wrecking to avoid. That's Rutherford, Schlosser, and Oaks.
Oh, and another one in the wall.
This is going to set us up for a dash to the finish here. Before that, more drivers possibly taken out of this one. Nathan Palawota certainly set back at this point. Believe has the faster pair in the bank, but not going to have very good track position here for the dash to the checkers.
Here's a look as we go down into turn 1. Like Palawota starts getting a little bit loose here. Oh, and makes the same exact mistake we saw from Daryl Klotz. Just barely nips the back right wheel of Nicholas Isidro as he's trying to move to the outside. Isidro came up the racetrack just a little bit. Maybe caught Palawota just a tad off guard, but nothing that was egregious by any means. And there they are wrecking. You mentioned it, wrecking to try to avoid Palawota, who was right in the middle of the racetrack.
Man, that was so close. These margins are so fine.
I mean, it was inches.
Might have been
Inches of
an
a mistake
inch.
there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with racing that tight, I don't know if you could blame anybody. Cedra might have moved up, Palawota might have moved down, it might have been net code, but I mean, it doesn't really matter at a certain point. You're going 195 miles an hour, 2 inches from the person below you.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming into the last 5 laps of, just absolute all-out madness. That's what happens.
Palawota going to call it a night. Jeff Oaks and Joshua Rutherford somehow have not used their faster pairs yet, despite being involved in accidents. They've both cleared their meatballs and are back out on the track. Still a lap and a half of pacing left to go. So that'll restart us with a natural green-white checkered? Is that right? Or we'll start with 3 to go?
Yeah, it'll be 3 to go. We'll be 1 to
There
go
you
next
go.
time around. And then green with 3 to go, which should give the drivers just enough time to get back in shape towards the front and really make some aggressive moves.
Field is under the control of Hunter Engrave, who won 3 races last season. Came one of just 5 drivers in series history to win back-to-back Daredevil Series races. Once on a road course at the Daytona road course, and then followed it up at the short track at Iowa with a win. And also one at Lime Rock Park to boot. So a very versatile driver, not just in the Daredevil Series, but all across the channel here on Turn 200. He's been a wheelman in every vehicle that we have thrown at him. But we'll need to be a wheelman for another 7.5 miles here when we get back to the restart.
And Rebecca Minnesota in the chat says there's no doors to rub here in this series, and that is certainly the case.
Absolutely. We've mentioned it already, but Christopher Hill has a points-paying win here at Legacy Pocono. So does Nicholas Cedro. The only one missing from that group who is not here tonight is Nate Siefker, who, funnily enough, has not been back since his win last season at Legacy, Michigan. So he ended with a walk-off victory. Hopefully that's not his last Daredevil start ever. Can't imagine it would be, but, he's been riding on the high of the victory since then.
Well, I mean, if we've ever put together a schedule, and when I say we, if Tommy's ever put together a schedule to tempt Nate Siefker to come back, I think Season 4 is probably it.
I do want to state this for the record, that the Season 5 schedule, as crazy as this schedule is, because it is very crazy by design, it was crazier, and then we changed it a little bit to make it a little less crazy, but the Season 5 schedule, which will be starting in, I think, June, will be, for the majority, voted on by the community. So everybody will have a voice in how the Season 5 schedule looks. I will give up my monopoly on scheduling.
Sometimes you just have to do what's right for the broadcast. You know what I mean?
Well,
what's going to put asses in the seats?
Definitely some ass seat races this season. And we've got one right here with the recruitment race. This isn't even for points. This is for bragging rights headed into the season. Hunter Engrave. Shade comes over the track. We're back underway. Fanned out 3 wide at the line. And here is Christopher Hill. Engrave fights back.
Whoa. A lot of trust between those two to know that Hill's going to be able to keep it there on the bottom.
Still side by side. Vroman and Gunter behind.
Steve Vroman might be in a prime position coming into this next lap with these two fighting in front. Brody Gunter also waiting in the wings behind Vroman.
The Illinois green is waving. 2 to go. 5 miles left. Engrave, Hill, Vroman, and Gunter.
Engrave solely out to the point. Steve Vroman looks underneath Christopher Hill for second. Oh, there's wrecking in the back.
Problem in the back. Andy Poliski and Ricky Wentworth have gotten together. Jeff Oakes gets a piece of it as well, and we are going to overtime. They were battling just outside of the top 10. Problems, says Matt Short in the chat. Yes, indeed.
Jeff Oakes still looks to be driving pretty decently here. Of course, there could be some damage that we're not able to quite see. We're going to go back and take a look. And part of the problem here, we're 3 wide. Seems to not work every once in a while. That's a 76 of Rick Thompson underneath. Andy Poliski up top. And then Wentworth up top. Poliski in the middle, I should say. It looked like some weird netcode contact there with Poliski, between Poliski and Thompson. Poliski gets shoved up into Wentworth. we'll have to go back and rewind and take another look, because that was just a really weird, strange incident that Oaks barely sneaks by there.
Boy, Joshua Rutherford did the same. He has seen some stuff tonight.
Yeah, and it looked like it's just some awkward netcode contact to me between Poliski and Rick Thompson. So, netcode is struck once again. Poliski was almost able to hang on to it, but Wentworth was just right there. It was too close.
Poliski hanging on to his faster pair, I suppose. So is Ricky Wentworth. I suppose they're technically not out of it. But Poliski, the winner of last season's recruitment race at Indianapolis, gonna have a long road to hoe here, if you will, to try and make it 2 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, in one of these races, as long as you're on the lead lap, you're never out of it. But, I mean, he's got a long ways to go. He's got to make up 15 positions here. And trust me, if you are a historian of the Daredevil series, you know that it is very well possible for quite literally everybody that's on the lead lap to crash, and it be a mad scramble to the finish. So, yeah, don't count him out.
Yep, that is for sure. And how this works, by the way, this is the final caution of the race, no matter what. The green flag is going to fly, the white flag is going to fly, the checkered flag is going to fly. Even if everybody crashes in turn 1 on the first lap of the restart, stay in green.
Matt Short in the chat, yeah, he's caused a couple. I think one of them here at Pocono. When I was referencing somebody slapping the absolute hell out of the wall out of turn 3, he's the person that I had in mind, unfortunately.
Talk to my lawyer. Oh, boy. We're getting litigious in the chat. Did he give us a pick of the race? I guess Christopher Hill.
You know what? I have a pick of the race in from last season, and you're gonna love this.
Oh no, who is it? Is it still you?
It's me, Matt Williamson. That was Matt Short's pick of the race.
Wow. Love to see it.
Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. You'll actually get to pick me once this season.
Hey. He'll probably pick you every week, but that one.
Probably.
The ultimate troll.
Alrighty, folks. Right. We got a lot of tire scrubbing going on here. Drivers are getting ready for what should be a wild, wild finish.
This is, yep. Yep. I am nervous, and I am not driving. If you've got a favorite driver that's out on track right now, I can't even imagine how you feel. If you're one of these drivers up at the front of this field, or really on the track at all, you gotta be just feeling crazy right now. And this isn't even for a points-paying win. This is for the recruitment race. We're all jazzed up here. Hunter Engrave leading Christopher Hill and Steve Roman. The final 2 laps of the recruitment race.
Really good jump from Engrave out front. Fanning out a little bit farther back. Oh, there's contact. We're wrecking in the middle of the pack, but we're going to stay green.
That's Thompson, Ellison, and Smock. Hill drawing a bead. Engrave down to block. Only so much you could do.
Here comes Hill underneath. He gets out in front.
Engrave back to it. White flag. Here's Vroman. He's making the move. 3 wide.
Almost 4 wide there with Brody Gunter up top.
Engrave will have the run. Vroman with no help on the bottom. Hill shoots the gap. Hill up the middle. Hill to the point. 3 wide. Almost 4 wide. Squeezing. Here's Ashton Crowder. Where did Crowder come from? Crowder 4 wide on the bottom. Ashton Crowder trying to make it stick. The top 3 all around. Crowder. Here's a run from Brody Gunter. Crowder takes it. Oh my goodness.
The Viper, Ashton Crowder, out of nowhere, absolutely sends it through turn number 2 and finds the bottom in 3. That was incredible.
Where did he come from? I know where he went. He went straight almost into the grass. Oh my goodness. Jeff Mathis will round out the podium.
Here's the scene on your screen from those drivers that want to try to make it to the finish, but they won't. Poliski, Vroman, and Hill all parked with no wheels on their cars out of turn number 3. And here's Ashton Crowder going to give us something special.
Well, we found the infield road course that's only on the legacy version of Pocono. This is channel win number 12 for Ashton Crowder. 10 of those came in points-paying competition for Maximum Velocity Racing League. A practice race for Max V is win number 11. And usually has pretty unique celebrations after all those wins. And I think we can add this one to the list of unique ones. I'm sure, and we'll take a look at it here in a second, I'm sure, even though this is just a practice race, the disappointment is immense for the other 3 drivers that ended up on the wrong end of it there.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I almost wish that was the first race of the season. That was just unbelievably crazy. Let's go ahead and get to the finish here. We're going to back it up a little more because Crowder seemingly came out of nowhere. He just gets a massive run down the back. I mean, he was a good few car lengths behind Brody Gunter when they were coming down the Long Pond stretch. Steve Vroman nearly gives a bump draft to Christopher Hill, then goes underneath. Here comes Crowder with the massive run through turn number 2. Tries to look to the top. It's not there. It goes all the way to the bottom. And this is where there's going to be contact, just a tiny bit of contact between Crowder and Vroman, but the wheels were pretty much locked for Engrave and Christopher Hill as well. One little bump from Vroman just sends them all exploding into the outside wall. And then Brody Gunter, I thought, might have a shot at making the draft work, but of course, Pocono, not much room to work with till you get to the start-finish line here on the front stretch, and Ashton Crowder brings it home.
That's just not a real move. That was just insane.
That is
and
an
it
Ashton
almost,
Crowder move.
I mean, just a clip of the grass there and a little bit of assistance from the rumble strip away from that sticking for all 4 of them. And that being a 4-wide, maybe even 5-wide move with Brody Gunter there at the line. That was, wow. That's the Daredevil series in a nutshell. If you could encapsulate it, that's what it is. For better or for worse. I'd say for better. I'd say probably Vroman, Hill, and Isidro would say, or Engrave, would probably say it's for the worse. All right. Let's give you the full finishing rundown here, I suppose, as the scenes continue to play out and Ashton Crowder continues to take laps here. Ashton Crowder with the win, Brody Gunter in second, Jeff Mathis in third. Hopefully we'll talk to all three of them momentarily. Nicholas Isidro will finish in fourth. Christy Wright hangs in for a top 5. Matt Schlosser, after all that, will finish in P6. Charles Grove in 7th. Ricky Wentworth in 8th. Jeff Oakes in 9th. And Hunter Engrave going to be the final finisher here in 10th. Christopher Hill, DNF in 11th. Steve Vroman in 12th. Joshua Rutherford at 13th. Andy Poliski, Caleb Smock through 15th. Rick Thompson, Paul Ellison, 16th and 17th. Fred Thompson in 18th. And Ethan Palawota in 19th. Daryl Klotz, Corey Rutherford, Brad Adams, Charlie Needham, Ben Richetsky, and just Ben Richetsky, actually, the final one of those who took the green flag here tonight down in 24th. Podium interview time. And I believe, I'll have to check the record book, but I believe this is Jeff Mathis's first start on the channel. And we go 1 for 1 in the podium straight out of the gate. Welcome to Booth 200.
I believe you're correct. Thanks for having me. This is pretty darn cool.
You and I have talked privately. You developed the setups for Team Watson Racing. You say don't always get the most enjoyment out of racing as you do setup making, but I don't know. This looked like a blast here tonight. Did you have some fun here?
Yeah, that was really, really fun. I didn't anticipate it to be that close. I knew it was going to be close because these cars don't have the big top speed because they're draft cars. But it was pretty obtainable, pretty reasonable. And, man, I thought I had a real good turn 3. I had a really good turn 3, but I just couldn't do anything with it because I just couldn't get out of it.
I'll tell you, you had a better turn 3 than some drivers did.
As one of my teammates has said, they all just died.
There was quite a bit of unaliving there in the final turn. Matt, what do you got here for Jeff?
Well, it's good to get to talk to you in over chat rather than over texting, I suppose. So, congratulations on the P3. Good to see you out here on the track. What do you think? Are you going to try to make maybe a few starts in the series? Did you have that much fun?
Oh, I think there may be some possibility of coming back, getting things around work. The United Lotus was pretty darn good today. I thought it was pretty pleasant. It's a worthwhile series to come back to.
Well, glad to hear it, partner, and you're welcome to do so, and looking forward to it as well. Shout-outs for you here tonight.
Shout-outs. I'd like to thank everybody, Team Watson and JJ. JJ got me over here. That was a big thing, and I'd like to also say a special hello to my father and his wife. They are hopefully watching from their home, and thanks for watching, guys.
I think verifiably you might be the first Illinois boy podium here on the channel. Oh, you know what? I guess Matt technically got a podium last season on the channel in the recruitment race. So you could take a second on that step, but I'll represent here tonight. Nice job.
Yeah, he's in charge of things. He doesn't count.
That's true. Yep, good point about that. Looking forward to many more down the road here, but nice run here tonight.
Thank you very much. Good to meet you guys. And yeah, this is a pretty darn fun series.
There you go. And unfortunately, it is P2 for Brody Gunter 2 weeks in a row, untelevised last week, but televised here tonight. You got a good look at all of the carnage. We've said for better or worse, that is the Daredevil series in a nutshell. What did you make of it?
That I'm good at finishing second so far is what I've realized. That's so far both races have done. I'm the second.
A little bit closer last week, but your survival instincts paid off for you here tonight. Your first thought as they are 4 wide in front of you heading into the final turn.
I kind of realized, when the white flag came out, I was like, I'm not winning this. I was kind of barricaded in, stuck behind them. I saw Ashton set the inside in the turn 2, and I was like, holy cow! I was like, I think they're all gonna die in the turn 3. I was kind of right because 3 of them did and 1 survived. Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, well, congrats on the P2. I know you'd rather be one step up there, but a great run here. You ran with us in the untelevised recruitment race as well. How are you feeling about the series, and what do you think about this car with everybody around you?
Oh, I love it. It's fun. I look forward to it. It's just, yeah, it's a lot of. I'd say it's kind of like all racing. It's a lot of luck involved, especially this race. But it was a blast to drive. I said it was fun to watch them all go in the turn 3 that way. Like I said, didn't think I was gonna win, but it was fun to be competitive and always up there.
Well, some other similarities between last week and this week. You finished second, of course, but man, you spent, I'd say, 95% of the race inside the top 5, if not just outside of it. So I'd say it's a sign of things to come here for your inaugural campaign with the Daredevil series. Exciting couple of nights for you with the win last night and the P2 here tonight. Shout outs for you.
Turn 200.
Hey,
all my family probably still watching, but yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting this and putting the series.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to have you a part of it, even if it's just for a week or two. But hopefully, selfishly, hopefully we get you for the entire campaign. But either way, looking forward to it, partner. Congrats on the P2 here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
And now it is time for an unfamiliar ending to the night. I know, a familiar ending to the night, but in an unfamiliar car, that is. Ashton Crowder, the race winner. In your first night out here in the 79, you looked like a seasoned vet of the Daredevil series because you gave us something clip-worthy, and that, at the end of the day, is the goal of the Daredevil series, I think, is just to give us clips that we could replay over and over again. First of all, congratulations on the win. Second of all, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I took it 4 wide into 3 there.
I noticed.
Just off the fact that I was like, well, I mean, if we wreck, it really doesn't matter that much. So I figured nobody would be mad at me. I didn't get yelled at afterwards anyway, so it was nice. But yeah, took it 4 wide. I was like, oh, this will be funny, and then it worked. So I was really happy with that. And I made sure to kind of reference Kyle Larson here. Made sure to keep leverage. going into the corner, so if I were to hit somebody, it would wreck everybody else and not me. And sure enough, worked out that way, and allowed me to win. So it's pretty dirty, but it's how it goes, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah. What do you make of the car here in your first time out?
It was really tough to kind of figure out because I mean I'm pretty used to stuff that kind of like turns on its own, and you really don't have to do much with it. As funny as that sounds. So this is kind of rough for me to figure out just off the fact that you really had to point and shoot it. You couldn't get down to the corner, wait for the throttle, and just like be patient with it. You really had to be hard and really get on it. And that was really hard for me to kind of wrap my head around. So it really took me like 3/4 of the race to kind of get it going. But just like great shooters such as Caitlin Clark, it sometimes it comes to you late, and that's exactly what happened.
Every time. Matt, what do you got here for the race winner?
Well, it's better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, I don't even know what to ask you at this point. You come on the channel and just do crazy, wild stuff every time. And I'm glad that you've gotten the gist of the Daredevil series already, just in the first recruitment race, because I think you perfected it already.
Yeah, I mean, like, didn't get the pole, which was very disappointing. I thought I was gonna have it by a mile, and I got out qualified by like 3/10, which is like really humbling for me. But being able to win in the first start, even though it is a recruitment race, you can't really get much better than that. Besides not wrecking like 5 laps into it. So maybe next time I'm able to run one of these, I won't wreck or have to use a fast repair or anything. But winning it, I mean, we've pretty much accomplished all we could here. So I don't know how I can get any better.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if the season rolls along. Shout outs for you here tonight.
Yeah, everybody on the Iowa Hawkeyes for sure, because we're watching them right now. And I was watching them the entire race. I have it paused right now so I can hear myself think. But yeah, we were watching them the entire time. Caitlin at this point has 5-3. She made a half-court shot, got fouled, and they didn't count it for some reason. It's horrible. But you guys were putting it on. Nathan, Nathan. I'm not gonna try to say his last name. I always get it wrong. He's been helping me a lot. And he was running really well until I think he probably got like flipped into the bushes. But everybody on Charles Gennady Racing, Charles is putting in a lot of money into this program, more money than we could ever dream of, and it's really allowing us to perform at our best. And he tells us every time, win at all cost, whatever it takes. And we carried that tonight, wrecked a bunch of people, and we can't feel any more good about that.
Well, there you go. Nice job on the win, going 1 for 1. Points pay in action next week. Hopefully, we'll see you there. But in the meantime, go celebrate the win.
Thank you. Classes start, so probably not, but we'll see.
There you go. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you again here sometime this season.
Sounds good. We'll see ya.
Well, that was pretty blunt. But I mean, it is the Daredevil series. You expect some aggressive moves. That was maybe the most aggressive one we've ever seen. But it gets Ashton Crowder the win. I mean, what a wild race here tonight, just from flag to flag. That was a wild one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good taste of what's to come here in the Daredevil series, season 4 for sure. I think maybe being a recruitment race, everybody was feeling a little extra juice here tonight. They knew they had a faster pair to work with, so things were, I think, turned up to 11 even more than they usually are, even though it's not the actual season. I think having that faster pair in the bag just... Everybody thought in their mind they could go all out with maybe no repercussions, and that's just about what we saw. So, but yeah, great first night here in the recruitment race, and I mean, I'm going to say it time and time again, this season is shaping up to be maybe the best one yet, and I am quite excited for it.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll hope to see you back here next Wednesday night. At Kansas is the season opener. That is just going to be... That's going to be crazy. Between now and then, nothing tomorrow night. I think we'll have something Friday. We'll be sure to let everybody know. Saturday night, we definitely have something. And it's one of the biggest somethings of our entire season. Our entire year, rather. Here on Turn 200. The 5th Annual Daytona Charity Shootout. We'll be here on Saturday night. You need to be here for that. It is going to be good. Then on Sunday afternoon, it is the Top Split Strength of Field broadcast for the Mission Art Challenge at Mount Panorama. Then on Monday night, the Formula Super Series rolls into Indianapolis. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series is at Darlington. And then we're back here for the Daredevil Series on Wednesday from Kansas. Before we sign off here tonight, Matt, who was hanging out with us?
Yeah, quite a few hanging out. So thanks to Joshua Rutherford, Flanky Roberts, Internix Matt Short. Who else was in here? I know Rebecca Missiswoda was, Corey Rutherford, Kai Osama, Dakota Tomade, of course. Boxless Hobo, he's back. Yeah, lots of old faces that we haven't seen for a little while. So thank you guys for tuning in. We are so excited to bring the Daredevil series back to you, and glad that you seem excited about it. It's going to be a good one.
There you go. So we'll see you here back. Wow, holy cow. We'll see you back here next Wednesday night. How about that? Until we meet again, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. We are saying so long from Legacy Pocono, where Ashton Crowder has turned the entire Daredevil series upside down. with his first win in his first try.